Hello, awesome fans. It is Anthony David, aka Chidav, and today we are going to be having a very interesting topic. This topic is one of the reasons why several farms have gone crashing down, and today we are going to be looking at something very important, and it is the contract staff and the full-time employee. Who are you supposed to engage on your farm? And that is what we're going to be looking at in today's video. I need you to stay glued. Who is a contract staff and then who is a full-time employee? We're going to be looking at this because most farm owners find it very confusing. They don't know which is profitable to go for, and that is why this video is here, because at the end of today's video I'm going to be showing you a practical section, a practical breakdown in comparison of the cost of employing or getting or engaging a contract staff and then the cost of engaging a full-time employee. So I'm going to be having or carrying out this analysis at the end of today's video, at the end, so you need to watch till the end of this video to really see this analysis, because I really want to show you something I want you to really get. It is very important you learn and understand which to go for. Both of them are important in their own ways. It all depends on the project you are carrying out at a particular point in time. Contract staff are workers who work or render services on short terms. They don't work on the farm for a very long time, so they are not always available on the farm. They only come in when there's a job for them to do, and then after the job they go. So these are guys who come and render services based on work that is to be done. So after that they will be gone. The full-time employees are guys who are always readily available on your farm. They work day and night, and they're always there and to attend to your needs, to attend to the needs of the crops and what have you on the farm. So these guys are always readily available on the farm, unlike the contract staff who only come in to do the job when there's work to be done, and then after the job they leave. A comparison is starting right away. So in terms of cost, the contract staff is way cheaper than the salary earners, which is the full-time employees. So this is it. The contract staff only come in when there's job to be done, and then after the job they leave. But the salary earners, which is the full-time employees, are always there on the farm, come rain come shine. So they are more expensive than the contract staff. So the contract staff, they come in, do their job, and they leave. Another thing we need to look at is the contract staff. These guys work based on target, meaning if you don't complete your job you don't get paid, and that is one of the advantages of a contract staff. What that means is if they don't finish their job they don't get paid, unlike the full-time employees who are always there on the farm. You can sometimes really measure the work they do. So it's possible these guys, and most of the time they really tend to pretend. They don't really want to do what they can do. They pretend a whole lot, and sometimes when we are on the field you see some of these full-time employees praying that rain should fall so that they can go back to their hostels, which if it was the contract staff, these guys don't they don't pray such prayers, because they really want to finish their target and get paid, because they know if their targets are not met they won't be paid. So that is another advantage of the contract staff over the full-time employees. These guys are target oriented and they work based on target. The thing we need to look at is the equipment they use. When a contract staff comes to your farm, he comes with his own equipment or tools, but if you have a full-time employee you definitely would have to purchase tools that he or she would use. So that means if you are engaging a contract staff, then you can use the money you would have used to buy tools to get more produce. and that is more money you are saving, because the purpose of a farming business is to minimize cost and maximize profit. So if in any way you can save costs, maybe by not buying tools that your workers are going to be using, because you have a contract worker who comes in with his own tools, then why not go for it? You go for it and you save money, and then you are maximizing profit. So that's another area, another advantage of the contract workers over the full-time employee. They come in with their own tools. You don't have to get them tools. You have full-time employees on your farm, you definitely would have to provide accommodation for them, and also in some cases you have to provide food, and that means extra cost. But when you engage a contract worker who just come in, does his job, there's no need for you to get him an accommodation. He comes all the way from his house, and after he does his job, he goes back. So you see, if in any way you can save costs as a business owner or as a farm owner, you definitely save costs. So why engage a full-time employee who is going to incur on the business extra cost by you building an accommodation or hostel for them, and as well as providing food? Yeah, you know what I mean. So that is extra cost. You don't have to do all of that if you are engaging the contract workers. Not forgetting, contract workers, of course, they are target oriented, and for that reason they get their job done faster than your full-time employee. Your full-time employee can spend like a whole day on a plot of land and might not even finish it, but the contract workers who know they're on a target of one plot per day put in a whole lot of energy to seeing to the completion of that project or that target, and once they've done that, they collect their pay and they leave. That's the agreement. So they tend to finish the job faster compared to your full-time employee. So if you really want to get your job done faster, you already know who to engage. If you engage your full-time employees, guys, the work is going to be slow. But then if you engage contract workers, these guys are super faster than your full-time employee. Not like the full-time employees are not fast, but because they have a way of, because you can't really measure what they do exactly, that is why they do all of that. And then the rapport you have with them might really make you not take the necessary decision or necessary action. And that is why I tell people, no emotions in business. Once you ain't doing my job, you have to fire and then get in more people. But then contract workers, when it comes to speed, tend to do your job faster, way faster than the full-time employee. So it all depends on you. Which do you want to engage? You already know what to look out for. I'm going to be doing the breakdown I told you about. I'm going to be using 1 hectare of land. 1 hectare of land has 15 plots. 15, yes. And hectare of land has 15 plots. And I want us to consider maize. Yeah, let us use maize as a case study here. If you have, say you have 1 hectare of land, and then you want to engage contract. I'm going to be using contract staff. I'm going to do the analysis using contract staff, and then do the analysis using salary or full-time employees, so you get to see the difference in terms of cost, which is the purpose of this video. So if you engage your contract staff, say you've done all your land preparation, now you want to start your planting operation. All pre-planting operations have been done, which is your land clearing, your plowing and everything. The land is ready for planting operations. And you know your maize takes about 3 months. That means you have 3 months. In the first month, we are going to be having 4 weeks, and the first week is the planting operation, and then the second week we are going to be having fertilizer application. Yes, so the first week is the planting. And how many labor are you going to be needing to plant an hectare? You just need about 10 contract staff. So you bring in 10 people to plant 1 hectare. And in some cases where I'm from in Nigeria, the part of Nigeria where I'm from, we pay 1,000 naira. I'm going to put the dollar value, so don't be lost. We pay 1,000 naira or 1,500 naira per labor to cultivate 1.5 plot. Yes, so when we get this 10 labor, we are going to be paying, if it is 1,000 naira, we are going to be paying 10,000 for 1 hectare to cultivate 1 hectare, or we are going to be paying 15,000 if it is 1,500 naira. So the cost would then be for planting would be 10,000 if it is 1,000 or 15,000. And then in the second week we're going to be having the fertilizer application. We just need 5 people to apply fertilizer on 1 hectare. So that means 1 person should be able to apply fertilizer on 3 plots. Yes, 1 person should be able to cover 3 plots of land. So we are going to be having, say, 5,000 naira if it is 1,000 naira, and say we are going to be having 5,000 or 7,500 if it is 1,500 naira. We are paying for labor per labor, so we are needing 5 people to carry out that farming operation. So that is for the first month. But then if you have a full-time employee on your field, you need minimum of 3 persons to manage an hectare. So if you have full-time employee, you would need about 3 of them to manage an hectare, and the minimum you would pay anybody to work on your farm for a month right now will be around 25,000 or 30,000. So if you are paying 30,000 per person per month, that means at the end of the month you need 3 people. You are going to be paying 90,000 naira, compared to about how much you're going to be spending, 15,000 to 20,000 thereabout, you are going to spend on contractor when you bring them in to carry out the farming operation and they go back. So that is that in the first month. So the second month, I told you we are looking at maize. So we're looking at maize, and maize lifespan is 3 months for a cycle. So it takes 3 months for a cycle, and we've looked at the first month. The second month we're going to be having 2 major operations, and they are, the first one is we're going to be having weeding, and the second is the second fertilizer application on the 6th week. So the weeding, for weeding you are going to be needing 15 casual or contract workers. So you're going to be needing 15 of them, and each one of them would do 1 plot. Yes, each person would do 1 plot, and 15 plots in an hectare. So, and you need 15 of them to come weed. So after they've weeded, then on the 6th week you do your second fertilizer application. So that 15, if it's at 1,000 naira, is going to be 15,000, and then if it's at 1,500 per labor, you are going to be paying about 22,500 naira for the weeding operation. Then for your second fertilizer application, that is going to take place on the 6th week. You have to weed first before you apply your fertilizer, so you don't end up giving your weed nutrients to then compete against your cultivated plant. So after you've done that, on the 6th week you get 10 people. Now why you need to get 10 people this time around is because your corn or your maize field is already growing, so they're not going to find it easy to apply fertilizer. So you get 10 people, you are paying 1,000 naira to 1 person, and the 10 people are going to be 10,000 naira at the end of the day. And if you are paying 1,500 naira, it's going to be 15,000 naira. So you can imagine, if you sum up the money for the weeding and that of the I'm going to put the sum the value of the sum on the screen so that you get to see it and know that when you make use of contract workers, you are saving a whole lot more. Third month, which is going to start from the 9th to the 12th week, you just need one major operation, and that is going to be weeding. That is if you wish. Yeah, some people don't even weed after the 6th week because your maize would have formed canopy and the weed won't have the opportunity to really emerge and compete with your cultivated field. But sometimes to just have the field well cleaned up, or to have your field looking neat, you are to weed. And then if you are carrying out one major operation, that means you are getting 15 more contract workers who are going to come in to weed for you, and then you are paying them 1,500 naira per person, or you are paying 1,000 naira per person, and that is going to be 15,000 or 22,500 naira. Is not even up to the amount you would pay per labor. So you are saving a whole lot of money when you get contract workers to come into your farm to do the job. But you need to have a competent supervisor who is going to be on ground. Yes, because you need a supervisor that would supervise the casual workers to really know. On that supervisory level, you can then have someone who is going to work on full-time basis, because you need a supervisor who would go around to see if your maize field needs attention. Because I didn't talk about army worm, because you can't really tell the number of times you would be doing that. You can't, because of the nature of the pest, the insect or the pest. You can't really tell the number of times you are going to be applying. It could be twice, it could be thrice. It all depends on the level of infestation. But definitely you need to get ready another 5 people who would do the application. So even if you get 5 people ready who would do the application, you know you are still going to be saving a whole lot of money when you engage contract workers to come in to do your job for you and then go. The extra cost you spend on getting salary or full-time workers are not so necessary for your farming business. It's not good for the cost of production, because it's going to increase your cost of production. It's something we've tried over time and we've learned from this experimentation. So we've experimented on it and we've seen that going for contract workers is much more profitable than you having full-time workers work on your field who will not even do the job you expect them to do, and at the end of the day they will be expecting salary, and that is the annoying part. You have to pay so you don't get a breach contract. So that is it, guys, that we have come to the end of today's video. I believe you've been able to pick one or two things from what we've been able to look at. And today we've not really looked at everything in full because there's a whole lot of aspects to consider, but that are dropping today. And I want to say you guys are awesome. Do well to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Like, give me a thumbs up if you haven't liked my video yet, and also do well to share this video. Guys, we'll see you in our next video. Bye for now.